Fair use disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. The copyright laws of the United States recognize a fair use of copyrighted content. Section 107 of the United States Copyright Act states, notwithstanding provisions of sections 106 and 106A, the fair use of the copyrighted work includes such use by reproduction, copies, phonorecords, or by any other means specified by that section for a purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, YouTube, teachings, scholarship, research, is not an infringement of copyright. Copyright disclaimer, fair use.
Reaper drone shows a glowing orb off the coast of Yemen. Suddenly, on the left side of your screen, you see a Hellfire missile zip in, strike that unidentified object, then bounce right off it. When we slow the video down, you see the Hellfire missile continue to travel on its path, that trajectory becoming clearer from this zoomed out angle. Not shown is a second Reaper drone that launched the missile. Congressman Eric Burleson shared the video at a House Oversight Committee on what the military calls unidentified aerial phenomena, better known as UFOs.
That's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
We've never seen a Hellfire missile hit a target and bounce off.
Lou Elizondo is a former senior intelligence officer with the Pentagon.
When a Hellfire makes a hit, a kinetic strike on something solid, there's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting. It's very, very destructive. What seems to happen is that the missile is either redirected or in some case, perhaps glances off the object and continues on its way.
A recent government report revealed the government received more than 750 new UAP sightings in the 2024 fiscal year, leaving lawmakers digging into the mystery and national security concerns posed by these objects.
Does this video scare you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes.
Yes.
Me too. There's a lot of information that's not in that video, like what mission they were on, and as they said, what are we even looking at here? We do know that the U.S. military was conducting airstrikes against Houthi targets at the time. Pentagon officials tell CBS News, no comment. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, Washington.
Chairwoman Luna, Ranking Member Crockett, and members of the task force for giving us the opportunity to testify today. My name is Jeffrey Nusatelli. I'm a former military police officer with 16 years of active duty service in the U.S. Air Force. I'm here today because the American people have both the right and the responsibility to know the truth about unidentified aerial phenomenon. That truth remains hidden, classified and silenced by fear, retaliation, stigma, and confusion. Today, we are here to help break that silence. Between 2003 and 2005, 5 UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base, home to the National Missile Defense Project, a top national security priority. At the time, we were conducting launches deemed by the National Reconnaissance Office as the most important in 25 years. These were historic launches. These facilities were vital, and they were repeatedly visited by UAP. Each incident was witnessed by multiple personnel, documented, investigated, and reported up the chain of command. We sent information up, but we got no guidance down on how to handle these events. I personally witnessed one of these events and investigated others as they occurred. 6 other service members have provided me with the information that I will share with you today. The incursions began on October 14, 2003, when Boeing contractors reported a massive glowing red square silently hovering over 2 missile defense sites. After several minutes, it drifted further east onto the base and vanished over the hills. This event, now known as the Vandenberg Red Square, was referenced by Representative Luna at the first hearing on this topic. Official Air Force records of this event are in possession by Aero and the FBI. Later that night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright, fast-moving object over the ocean. I responded to the incident. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. I heard my friends screaming, "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Moments later, I heard them say that it had shot off and was gone. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed. About a week later, another patrol reported a light over the ocean, behaving erratically. Believing it might be an unannounced aircraft, they declared an emergency, and an armed response force responded. Before the forces could arrive, the object descended and either landed or hovered on our flight line, and then took off again at impossible speed. The witnesses to this event were threatened and intimidated afterward. They were told to keep quiet and think about what they were reporting. After that, things did get quiet until about 2005, when another patrol reported a massive triangular craft larger than a C-130 silently floating over the installation. He watched it for a few minutes. It traveled west and disappeared into the night. And then I had my own encounter, again in 2005. I was off duty, sitting in my backyard with 2 other police officers when we noticed what first appeared to be a satellite in orbit, but it wasn't acting like a satellite. The light was strange, it was pulsing, and then it started to maneuver. It dropped in elevation. At times it would vanish from view and reappear in a different location in the sky, and eventually it reappeared 200 feet over my house. It was a 30-foot diameter sphere of light. My friends and I watched it for a moment, and then it gently accelerated and traveled up and disappeared into the stars. These events profoundly changed my life and the lives of my friends. We stand at a pivotal moment in history. The question is no longer whether these events are real, but whether we have the courage to face them.
For less than a decade, we've known that our solar system is not an island. We now know that objects from other stars pass through our cosmic neighborhood. We've seen 2 before. One was a mystery. The other was reassuringly familiar. Now, a 3rd visitor has arrived. And with every new piece of data, the picture gets stranger. This object, 3I/Atlas, is moving with a speed that is difficult to explain. Its trajectory is unusual, and early observations have created a scientific paradox so profound it forces us to question our place in the galaxy. With every answer, 3I/Atlas is becoming less ordinary, and that raises a question some scientists hesitate to ask. What if this isn't just a comet? For centuries, no object from beyond the sun's gravity had ever been confirmed. We assumed that if something did pass through, it would be rare. That assumption didn't survive the last decade. In 2017, we detected 1I/Oumuamua, the first confirmed interstellar object. Small, dark, with no visible tail, it accelerated in a way we still can't fully explain. It remains a complete enigma. 2 years later, 2I/Borisov arrived. Borisov was a relief. It looked and acted exactly like a comet, proving that normal comets are, in fact, ejected from other star systems. Then came silence, until July 1st, 2025, when 3I/Atlas entered the picture.
Reading out of the book of Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1 through verse 4, and it reads, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Most High is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy risings. Okay, that Gentile, that's twofold. You have scattered Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth, the people, the diaspora. But that is that's essentially dealing with the nations. Okay, that's also dealing with the nations. Exempt the nation of Esau, Edom. That's Obadiah. This don't really include them, but reading on, it does include the remaining nations. Okay, that's going to serve the Israelites in the kingdom. Okay. So we're going to start at Isaiah 60:3 from the top. It says, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy risings. Okay. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see, all they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. I'm going to read verse 4 again, because this Gentile is dealing with those of the diaspora, not the status quo that Christianity teach, talking about the Gentiles as the multilateral church full of heathens. No, this is clearly talking about the Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth. Okay, one more time. Isaiah chapter 60:4. It says, lift up thine eyes round about, and see, all they gathered themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons, okay, this is clearly dealing with the Israelites. It says, thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. First, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Again, I'm going to say shalom. This is your brother Yahweh coming at you with another video. And not for nothing, with everything going on the planet Earth right now and outside the Earth, it's been interesting with this whole chariot sightings. Now you have this thing with 3-Eye Atlas. Apparently, you had the time before the lockdown, not the lockdown, the government shutdown. Okay, remember there was a period before that where 3-Eye/Atlas was making headlines. Then there was a government shutdown that lasted 2 months. It was a month and maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, roughly. Now, during the time it was turned off, the government that is, you still had images of this thing that they called a comet. First, it clearly looked like a comet. Then the tail was somewhat in the front. You had all these stories about, what is 3-Eye Atlas, what is Swan, what is all these things. And then the government reopened. But you were still getting the status quo. All right, it was a comet, but the tail was in the front, if that made sense. And in short, I'm going to get to the point. Come to find out, those were not legitimate. Those were, I don't know how to put this into words. Those images were not like official. You have images going viral of what 3-Eye Atlas actually looked like versus what they were showing us. So prior to and after the shutdown, the government shutdown and its reopening, you got to wonder, why would they tell the media or tell, the masses, it's just some comet that's supposed to fly by, as you see, on a lot of those videos supposed to fly in the orbit, the galaxy, and take off. That's furthest from the truth. You got images, okay? Salute to Sister Lisa Cabrera and a lot of brothers that's really bringing this out, okay, in the community. That's no comet, okay? I'm gonna post those images. I'm gonna let y'all see it for yourself. Okay, based on what went out yesterday, okay, Sister Lisa Cabrera did a pretty good video. Another one was followed by this guy named Double7. He did a video. Okay, I recommend Lisa. Okay, her work's pretty good. She was the first one to get it out there, and that's at the end of the day. That's not a comet. Okay, now I don't get too excited. So I did say in the video pass that could be a lot of things they could be manipulating. What's that thing called? Project Bluebeam. Yeah, a lot of AI. It could have been a bunch of things, but what's coming out now, well, that's clearly not a comet at all. Going into the whole chariot conversation, y'all know I did a 3-series run on that, and I don't believe those fatherships won't make their presence felt until it's time. But to other topics regarding 3i or similar, very similar to 3i Atlas, is these, they call them orbs, watch probes, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, this incident. Yeah, the incident where a helicopter was apparently trying to take off. It's a policeman helicopter, and a state of emergency was declared because he was up against something he couldn't really describe.
The floor. Take me through the experience.
I had just started my midnight shift, which is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. All of a sudden, from my left rear, there was a really strong light. It lit up the entire cab of my cruiser to the point where I was having a hard time driving because I really couldn't see it. I was blinded by it. At that point, the light started to move along the left side of the cruiser until it stopped right in front off to the left. As I looked up, that's when I saw this object. It was approximately 30 feet away from me. It was fairly close, and it was probably about the size of like a Mini Cooper, and it was a perfect sphere, and it almost looked like plasma moving constantly, and it was changing colors from red to green to white, and then it repeated the colors. And when I came to, I took my spotlight and shined the light at it. And as soon as I hit it with my spotlight, it instantaneously moved across the body of water. And that's when I sort of snapped out of it and took out my camera and started recording and taking pictures. I've seen my fair share of drones, meteors, and everything else. And I knew that this was something that I've never come across. It wasn't a drone, I can guarantee you that. And it was something I still, to this day, I'm perplexed.
You go into the video post of the hearing, apparently, you know, whatever they are, I believe personally, when you go into it biblically, okay, the Most High has always been watching, right? From the time the Israelites were scattered to the four corners of the earth, you know, hiding under the curses and having the nations watch over us, chiefly the so-called white man who broke the brotherly covenant and continue to do these wicked decrees on the earth. And we can see clearly, you know, their kingdom is coming down. When you look at the video and the hearings, why is it, okay, why is it when so-called white people encounter, it's always bad? Versus many camps, okay, a lot of camps there do videos, the chariots kind of get above them, and that's it. They don't do no harm to them, okay? There's no harm done to the brothers when they teach, right? I remember it was a couple of camps. There was an IUIC camp. They did a video. They had some orbs above them, and they didn't do them no harm. The brother, I think it was I think that's the elder brother from South Carolina, GMS. He was doing the teaching, and chariots was in the background, and it did them no harm. They were just teaching. But I noticed when so-called white people encounter them, it's never good. And that's because they refuse. First of all, they mock us, calling us people a color. They call us black. They call us all these weird by names. They 100% stripped us of our identity. And for generations, they have done nothing but harm to the real Israelites, the children of the diaspora, okay? And the orbs, I believe sincerely there's a link up with them and the actual fatherships in the background that's due to come. But to that day, I never get too excited, you know. Other prophecies got to pan out. This race war, okay? I want to show a clip. Fair use. I want to show a clip. Y'all, as y'all recall, as of late, I've been ranting on Christianity being devil worship with good reason to support it. Now, you know, there's this uprising. You have this thing in, I believe, Britain or London, okay? They have, like, Islamic government. Now, in New York City, there was a mayor election. Zoran Mandani just took the crown for 4 years for New York, and he starts his reign January 1st. So this has been this uprising against Islam. Now, I'm not supporting Islam. I teach the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, the scattered Israelites. I'm not promoting Islam, no form, fashion. But to the topic, they're rising up. These racism, white supremacists, Slakia, they are rising up against the Nation of Islam. And that's a new theme today. And I'm going to try to get into that, or at least show the videos. I really want to show how the KKK, neo-Nazi, Christians respond, and how one of the elders that put up a video, how after they went on a rant, they start singing Hell White Jesus.
And we're being driven out. You come here and you marry 4 or 5 women and you outbreed us. You change the laws. You make all of our country look like...
Everyone can outbreed Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, even with one wife, collectively. Because, you know, he's the weakest male on the planet. His sperm is weak. All right. And his women have no problem breeding when they get with men of color, especially so-called black men and Hispanic men. That's just a fact. So he's mad that these Ishmaelites marry multiple wives and then outbreed them.
The places that you fled from, we don't want you here. Respectfully, get the fuck out of my country. I don't want you here. Get out of here.
Now, you know, it's funny how Esau always throws out that sentiment, not, you know, and not acknowledging that that is exactly what they did to get this country. But I guess that's their biggest fear. He sounds like Ben Franklin.
You are nothing, you can build nothing, just like President Trump's great
Nigga,
American
you can are
friends
nothing, you
said.
can build.
You guys
He's
are
proud,
not us,
bitch.
and get the fuck out. America first, America only. God bless America. Jesus is king. 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 Jesus is king.
It's something to the effect of King Jesus, and that, I mean, that's not the name of the Son of Man. It's Hamashiach Yahushai. Okay, they show you their true essence. The race war that's going to increase. Without further ado, I don't want to be going off too much. Let's get the classic real quick. Let's get Matthew's 24, I think. Shalom to the 12 tribes of the children of Israel scattered abroad. Shalom, shalom. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. It says, "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginnings of sorrow." My whole point with that, now I've surfaced this in videos past, okay? The Negroes in America, especially in the Bible Belt, they can't accept, okay, two parts of them. In Zechariah 13 and 8, Israelites of our people in the world, they cannot accept the Israelite teaching. And when you deal with this oracle here, it's only talking to the children of Israel. That's, I mean, it could be argued from Genesis 10 to the end of the book. It's not dealing with neo-Nazi racism, white supremacists that run this world in total darkness. Okay, the Most High is not dealing with them. Okay, so that was Matthew 24 and 6, all the way to verse 7. That was, Matthew 24 verses 5, 6 through 7. I'm going to read verse 7 again. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows," and the war front's only getting worse. Remember, Russia, Ukraine, what's left of it. Now you have this buildup. You have fleets. You have United States cavalry, the fleet campaign, okay, all over the waters surrounding that Latin America, chiefly towards Venezuela. Because normally when the United States set up their warships in the regions, because they're preparing for a war. Remember, I've been doing a lot of videos about the whole Venezuela v. America, okay, Venezuela, Russia, or BRICS versus America. And the dangers that come with that is because they're armed with hypersonic missiles, hypersonic nuclear missiles. You have that condition. You have that war build up. You have all the proxy wars that's still going about in the so-called Middle East. Okay, and you have that huge division and divide with NATO and EU. Okay, so if you have nations against nations, okay, and nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom, I'm trying to figure out how Christians get this everybody notion in the midst of that teaching. Okay, it's just confusion, and our people, while there's a little time, they better hurry. and come out of this foolishness, man. If the so-called racism, white supremacists took people of color, you can read that in Joel accounts, Psalms, I think it's Psalms 83, Deuteronomy 28:68. The Lord told you these were your enemies, man. So how these people gonna do all this stuff and then turn around and make a doctrine where they're the savior? That's basically what they're doing. And right now they're preparing for a Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. All this inserted rhetoric that white supremacy do. I just love when I look at certain camp videos how they try to throw in the love portion. Okay, are they showing love when it comes to people of color that fail their prison system? Right? Are they showing love when so-called policemen pull up on Latino people, Haitian people, Negroes, just people of diaspora, people of color? When ICE roll up on people of color throughout these cities and torment them. Okay, I've been saying this. The elder from Chicago brought this out recently. He was going into how ICE don't go to Israeli American neighborhoods. ICE not going into all so-called gated community with so-called rich white people. But ICE keep harassing us. And then these idiot evangelicals like Sunday teachers, these megaphone teachers like Vocab, roll up on the Israelite camp and tell us we're not teaching the right doctrine, but they continue to torment us. And we did slack it. This is going back into the earliest days of chattel slavery. Right? So they're busted at this point. It's just two parts of our people. They refuse to separate. Okay, the Lord told us to separate from them. But our people, two parts of our people, they won't do it. And if they don't, you don't gather with your own nation, you're going to die. The Lord tell you that in Isaiah the 13th chapter. But let's carry on. I want to go into Revelations. I'm going to try to speed run it, and I'm going to end the video. I don't want to make it too long. Let's go to Revelations quickly. And the news is only getting, it's only heating up, but the chariots, these vessels of the Most High, that's my honest take, on the orbs and whatnot. Okay. They're doing minor damage, but on the judgment day, on the E-Day, okay, on the doomsday, them father ships will be here. Okay. They'll be here, but until the trumpet sound, the missiles begin to fly, we gotta labor. That's my take on all of it for the time being. That's just my full take on everything happening right now. And we got to consider that. I want Revelation 7 real quick. I had it, family, and I just lost it. I'm going to try to run through Revelation 7 and try to make some points. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1 from the top. It says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree." Okay. "And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying," check this out, verse 3. It says, "Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads." And that's dealing with the elect, okay? That's dealing with the elect Israelites laboring in his truth. Our brothers risking their lives, street teaching throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Okay, brothers teaching in humbleness, sincerity. Okay, This is dealing with the elect Israelites and the remnant body Israelites. Zechariah 13:9, that great multitude of believing Israelites that's going to get saved. Okay, them the ones lauded, because when you go into my last video, the chariots, they're also, those are like modern day or modern time arcs. They're flying arcs, because when the nuclear bombs come down, you know, the Israelites, Revelations 11, you know, come up hither. That's what they're out there for. But it's not time yet. Okay, I'm gonna keep researching that. It's not time until the missiles fly. This whole thing is about the elect and the deliverance out of this captivity. Okay, because when you look at the road America's on, the economy's busted. The housing bubble's due to go any second. Okay, you understand, when the housing bubble go this time, when the housing bubble bursts, there's no recovery for it. Okay, there was one president. Okay, Obama, many years ago now, he was in a position to actually bail the people out. But we know him being a puppet for the elites, like all those so-called presidents and parties are. Okay, they set up by your lobbyists, your foreign lobbyists that control Congress in Washington. Okay, that's just a fact, man. Okay, I said this once and I'm gonna say it again. If I was in the world on a political stage, the last thing I'd be doing is telling people to vote. You're voting to see your own downfall. That's plain, and I don't even deal with that world. If the lobbyists control both sides, what are you benefiting? Nothing, because the lobbyists are the ones that push the wars, the forever wars. Them the ones pushing out these decrees on the people. Them the ones with the sick agenda to keep poisoning the earth. Okay, led by your Amalekites. If y'all know what I'm saying. So why would you entertain voting? Okay, and they don't really have an end game. They want us to follow, going into these white supremacists again, they want us to follow and believe Jesus, okay? White Jesus, okay? Earth pig, right? They want us to follow that while they keep poisoning the earth with paganism, all types of sickness that they promote throughout this land. And this is why you're starting to see more and more of these chariot sightings, okay? Was most notable is how the so-called white people are terrorized by the chariots. But when the brothers are teaching, there's no harm done. You won't hear reports of so-called chariots, U.A.P S harassing people of color. But you look at the hearing, the oversight thing with the ex, I think there's pilots or policemen, whatever. They're terrorized. They're scared, right? Because they're coming. I mean, truth be told, the chariots are coming to kill the children of Edom. Okay, Isaiah 66:15 on down. They're not coming to save them. Let's get a precept. This is the one burden that white supremacy, America, Vatican, okay, the 10 common markets, all those EU nations, that's all Edomites, the Dukes of Edom. Y'all collectively guilty of this. The old classic in Exodus 21:16. And it says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. That's what Edom is guilty of to this very day. You see, there's no peace on the earth, right? Let's read on. So that was Exodus 21:16. Now we're going back to Revelation 7. I was in chapter 7, verse 1 through verse 4. And I'm going to read verse 4 again. I'm going to read verse 3 again. It says, Revelation 7:3. saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the tree, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their forehead. Okay. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000, all the tribes of the children of Israel. That's plain, man. How you get spiritual Israel out of that, man? I'm a big advocate for teaching against that spiritual Israelite doctrine. That's a dogma. And you got Israelite groups that teach that. Okay. You got Christianity-based groups like GOCC that teaches this pseudo lie within our ranks, man. And they're going to be destroyed. There's never group like them, man. On the day of the Lord, he's not dealing with Israelite groups that teach salvation for your oppressor. That's just off. Ask them Palestinians if they want salvation for, what's hitting them and destroyed everything they had. You think they want peace with them? I guarantee you the answer is no. And that's just having the right mind. The only ones that have the right mind in Israel is the elect. We have the same sentiment against the white supremacists that oppress us in America. Okay? You can't love your enemy, man. Okay? When you're dealing with Leviticus 19:17 and Matthew 5:44, that's Israelite to Israelite. Okay? There's accounts that go into eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. That's not us to kill each other. That's for us to stand our ground against the enemy. Not promoting go out there and commit a crime. Okay? But you do have a right to protect yourself if you feel threatened. Case in point, myself among so many other citizens that's litigating, that's still dealing with the annoying court system. If you got someone threatening your livelihood, keep it a buck, I pay a mortgage and all the utilities that follow. And if you know someone, I'm gonna go here, executive, racism, white supremacist executives, a racism, white supremacist corporation harassing me while I'm trying to do my job, you goddamn right I'm gonna stand my ground and take it before a judge. There's no crime in that. Now that's a lawful way. Okay, that's a lawful way to protect your assets until the Lord get us out of here. I want the Exodus anyway. I don't deal with these damn demons that run the earth. It's just what it is. Generally, if someone's threatening what you have, you gotta fight. Or call on white Jesus and be destroyed. Okay, it makes no sense. But that's what they want. That's what they want us to do. I'm not doing that. Okay, I fight it to the very end, and I'm led, by the God Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So breaking a believing Hebrew Israelite is not going to happen. Okay, and I hope my brothers and sisters in the community that's dealing with similar cases, you stand your ground. Don't give a damn about some damn racist white supremacists. They hate me. I hate them. It is what it is. That's that. Okay. But they take it too far. There's an Amos account, man. They broke the covenant. Let's get Ezekiel 35:5 real quick while I'm ranting, right? That's just keeping it real, though, Israel. That's just keeping it real, man. Not gonna let some damn racism, Ku Klux Klan corporation kind of get involved. I don't want to get into too much detail. I get a lot of heat for this. You had a merger, okay? They came and made a bunch of promises. Then they went on a termination spree, took the benefits away. You know what I'm saying? I'm sugarcoating because that's still technically that's really, ongoing case still. Then they just start pointing out people they want to go for in a sneakiest sense, if that makes any damn sense right now. They came after me. I knew what they were up to. It's been a war in and out the courts now. That's it. You ain't paying my damn bills. Talking about Jesus loves you. Get out of here. Ezekiel 35:5. And damn white Jesus. Get lost. Ezekiel 35:5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay, so they took it beyond, when it came to our punishment, they took it too far. Okay, and the Lord's coming for them, and the signs of these angelic devices by way of the orbs, who, the orbs, they're doing mild damage. Okay, you look at the video, it was flying and the missile locked in on it, and you saw what happened to the missile. Okay, salute to WFI. Brother Nikon, he did a video. He was one of the first guys to post a video of the chariot too close to, I guess, I don't know what that was. I'll post that video.
Let me make sure it's showing. All right. And you're going to see a lot more signs of the chariots. As we approach the downfall of this kingdom, you're going to see chariots, like you see the birds in the sky. They're just going to be out there. All right. And everybody's going to see them. Come. So let's play this clip. So that's the chariot looking on your screen. So they shot a missile at it. Now the chariot deflected it. You see that? Let's play that again. It's kind of fast. It's only 15 seconds. You see the chariot doing its own thing. You'll see the people kind of shoot a missile at it, and then the chariot kind of deflect it, change its projection, and throw the damn missile back at the earth, man.
The chariot was low. Someone fired rockets at it. The rocket propelled and it blew up on the ground. The chariot kept going. So we're seeing more and more of these signs, and it's really the end. It's the end of how do you say, Slakia? It's the end of the so-called rule of these damn heathens, chiefly Esau, Edom. Okay. Second Ezra's 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob's the beginning of it that follow it, man. It's the end of their kingdom, and they're in panic mode. It's not going to stop the day of the Lord, but, we have to endure to the end. That's all. No matter what our conditions are, we have to endure to the end, okay? I can tell y'all straight, and I'm certain there are other brothers in the world that have the same sentiment. If you know you fighting a just fight, you don't stand down from that, man. Because the Most High is also bear witness to it, right? You want to hold your ground or endure to the end until the day of the Lord. I don't give a damn about some racism, white supremacists that don't like my guts. Make all these weird promises, then try taking your livelihood from you, and then roll up on you on your job and try to smile and shake your damn hand. If it was Mortal Kombat, it'd been an uppercut into the damn pit. If you know what I'm saying. But in this world, you can't do that. But as a believing Israelite, you have to hold your ground. And you do have to endure to the end in a lawful sense. Reading on. Try to finish this video now. Some details. Okay. Revelations. That was 7. Let me see if I get a few more, and I'm gonna end it. I want Revelations 9 from the top. It says, and the fifth angel sounded and saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and the key, Slakia. From the top, Revelation chapter 9 and 1. It says, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there rose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke, locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given powers as scorpions of the earth have power. Okay, this is kind of, it's symbolic, allegoric into war, this war buildup. Okay, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Okay, and that's kind of symbolic to these plagues on this earth too, man. It's just the calamities and the deaths on the earth now is just it's so bad. You can't really keep count. But the Lord's, He's bringing these end of days calamities to the planet Earth. Okay, this is why it's very urgent to keep these commandments. Okay, let me read on. Because when you read, I'm going to read Revelations 9:4 again. It says, and it shall command them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their forehead. Because those that's not calling on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's not worshiping the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's not keeping the laws as the Most High said we have to do, you're going to get hit with these curses, man. These plagues and whatnot. That's what this is going into. Okay? You have to hold on and keep the laws of the Most High of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And if you don't, you're going to get destroyed. That's what this is going into. Okay? Verse 5, it says, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. So that's, if you get bit by a scorpion, there's no fun in that, I'd imagine. Okay. But again, it's just parabolic to those that's not in the law. It's going to get bad. That's what this is going into, okay? Verse 6, and in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them, okay? That's a bad thing, man. And, this world, the so-called rich elites, they're in panic mode. All these chariot and orb sightings, like I said earlier, especially for racism, white supremacists, they're out there to destroy all of them, okay? That won't manifest until the day of the Lord, but they're not coming to sit in some damn congressional hearing, man, okay? The chariots of the Most High are not coming to sit in some UN council. When it's showtime, they're coming to destroy this place, chiefly racism, white supremacists, okay? Right? And for people of color, like I said, our brothers and sisters in that Bible Belt, man. One day the internet gonna shut off for good, man. It's gonna be the day of the Lord, hopefully. The family of the word, I believe, it's my opinion. I believe that's a portion on the day of the Lord as well, because it's gonna be too late. The Lord's just gonna judge those that didn't believe. Okay? Revelations 9 and verse 9. Jump down to verse 12. Let's get to the point. It says, verse 11. It says, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue had his name Apollyon. Remember, Apollyon means destroyer. Okay? Verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more there hereafter. I'm going to read that again. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12. One war was past, and behold, there come 2 wars more thereafter. Remember the war buildup. Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Venezuela, America, BRICS nations. Remember, you have this huge split in the EU. And we all know what's really going to happen with this war. The Revelation 17 account. When the nations just turn on America. Because that's what all this war buildup is about. Everyone sees who controls America. Okay? America is controlled, okay? And this is during chattel slavery and from the 30s when your Fed took over. America's always been controlled by a foreign deity called your lobbyists, man. Y'all know who they are. Y'all know who they are. They're your synagogue of Satan. They've been controlling America. It's all been game. It's been a damn Broadway show the whole time. But now the world see who controls America. And you know what exposed that? The whole October 7th thing. How America aided an entity that continues to commit war crimes. Okay? And that same entity has geopolitical power over all the 50 states. So what are you voting for? Okay, I'm going to go off on a rant again. But when they tell you to go vote, you're voting for an entity that already have their suits who they want to be a senate or a representative, a judge. Forget it. We need salvation, okay? And none of these parties can do that now. Because if a foreign entity have that much power in your own government, like I said, if I was in the world, I definitely would be running to no poll. I would be pushing for a brand new thing, but America's allowed it to be destroyed, and it's going to happen with this third world war. This third world war. See if there's any more. I'm on it. I'm making this video a little too long. Revelations 11 and 14. Revelations 11, is that what I want? 14. It says, the second war is past, and behold, the third war cometh quickly. That's all this buildup is about, man. World War III, Armageddon, man. The apocalypse. Okay? The end of Esau Edom's reign on this earth. Okay? And how is it going to end? It's going to end in thermonuclear destruction. Let's get that. That would be Revelations 18 and 8. There's something else I saw in Revelations 11. I want to read verses, let me see. Yeah, let's read Revelations 11 and verse 15. It says, and the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord. This is dealing with Yahweh Shai, the angels, the prophets taking this world back. Okay, and that's what we're praying for. That's what Yahweh Israel's praying for. That's what the camps of Marshal Yahshua is praying for. All the Israelites, believing Israelites, we're praying for the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to take this world back. Okay, like the Lord's Prayer. Okay, as it is in heaven. Heaven isn't some sanctuary at the top where we're going to have banquets. No, heaven is on the earth. And that's what we're praying for. Okay. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 15 from the top. It says, and the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. All praise. Okay. That's what we want. We don't want a world where white supremacists and foreign lobbyists just keep calling the shots. And look how they run the earth. In total chaos and mayhem, man. They tell you peace and love. They show you in these football games in the stadiums, have love, No more hate, and they display that every day of their damn lives, being mass hypocrites. Okay. So the Lord is going to shut this place down, man, and it's going to happen through that nuclear destruction. Okay, and the day of the Lord, the exodus of the Israelites into the wilderness and into the kingdom afterwards, right? Let's see if there's any more. Verse 16 says, and the 24 elders were set before the Most High, on their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped the Most High. Yeah, because in that time, that's really dealing with the end, when the Israelites are successful, okay, they survived the curses and delivered upon out of here. Okay, that's what we're praying for. That's what I want. Okay, a court case and lottery money ain't good enough. Deliverance out of here is good enough, man. Okay, see if there's anything else before I end it. Let's go to Revelation 18. We're going to need Revelation 18. Just consider the news going on. 12 tribes. Y'all have to consider what's happening. And remember, before I shut this video down, America's entering into their pagan holiday seasons, okay? But come January, they're closing in on 250. Now, 250 is around summer, roughly. Or the month of Bib, somewhere around that. But there's no biblical verse that says we have to wait that long. Remember, the Lord, I'll try to post it, the Lord come quickly and his reward is with him, man. That's what I'm praying for, man. I'm going to tell y'all something before I end this. The United States of America can't save us, man. Okay? If you're a slave descendant, man, America can't save us, man. You got to consider. Look at the world since they've stolen. Okay? They're about to celebrate Thanksgiving. They want us to follow this foolishness that Columbus and his Christopher Columbus in his pilgrimage made peace with the natives. We know that ain't true. They slaughtered millions. Okay, the account shows millions of natives died. Millions, damn near a billion Israelites. They almost extinct Israel on this side in their takeover. Then they took the southern kingdom from the west coast of Africa, okay, and started their slavery run to steal this earth and had the audacity to say in the name of Jesus, white Jesus, Caesar, we gonna be one in the spiritual. There's no need for that, and there's no time for that foolish lie that they keep pushing. This world is ending, and it's gonna end on their watch. Okay. 2nd Ezra 69 again. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it that follow. That's what's coming. I don't see anything else left but that. Not to say other prophecies won't pan out. Of course, other prophecies are going to pan out. But you got to consider this. Revelations 18 and verse 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Read that again. Revelations 18 and 4, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Okay? Because if you don't come from out of it, you're going to get caught in that fire. Let's read the 8th verse. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judged her. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness and sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. We got next. Shalom, family.
There is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
well, what?
Safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Huge cigar-shaped ship appeared over the Air Force Base. These cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5", huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society,